Real Estate Guru TV, your personal real estate resource. Now, your host, Sean T. Shallis, your personal real estate guru.
Hey there, Sean Shallis, Real Estate Guru TV, your host and your personal real estate resource. So today I'm excited. We're going to do the first segment of The Art of the Deal, which is called How to Evaluate a Property at a Glance. So the property we're going to do today is actually in Bloomfield. It's actually a pretty unique property. When I first went to go look at this property, I looked at it with the owner and he said, you know, this is a really old home. Not really sure what to do with it. I'm not sure who's going to want to buy it, and people are going to have to put a lot of money into it to get it done. And after looking at the home, I shared some information with the seller that made it kind of seem like a lot easier process. One of the things that is first of all, when you're going to evaluate a property, the first thing you want to do is get as many eyes on the property as possible from a professional standpoint. I mean, obviously, getting eyes on the property and getting the guy across the street who lives in a rental, has never bought a piece of property, may not be as valuable as getting somebody like myself or one of my colleagues to look at the property who's been looking at hundreds of transactions to make sure they work or they don't work. Well, let's look at this property actually in Bloomfield. First of all, this property is a single family home on a double lot. Let me explain what a double lot is that each building is on a lot or a buildable lot according to the city, and the city has certain standards about how big a lot or the particular property has to be in order to build a house on it. In this particular case, this building is actually two lots that you can build two individual homes on, providing that you get them separated. The second thing is this single family home has a 3-car garage behind it. So right now the actual acquisition price of this home is about $275,000. We know that we're going to probably have to put $20,000 or $30,000 into it to actually renovate this house to get it to be at a standard at which are fair market value, okay? In addition to doing that though, when you walk through in a buyer and you're saying, well, God, I got to put down 15 to 20% at a minimum to buy the home. Plus, I got to have an extra $40,000 or $50,000. Sean, that's like $60,000. I only make $100 a year between me and my wife combined, and we're working 3 jobs. How are we going to do that? And and that's exactly what the seller is saying. I said, what's interesting is the government realizes that that's a difficult process, and they actually offer a program called the 203K. Now, one of the things that we're going to talk about in The Art of the Deal is, one of my mentors, a guy named Ron Brown, who, I can't thank him enough for everything he's taught me over the years. One of the things he said to me was, Sean, figure out 2 ways to get out of the property before you figure out how to get into it, so that you have exit strategies. And what he was talking about was what I call options. Make sure your buyer has options before they get involved to make sure they can get out. Well, in this particular case, it's a great opportunity because we have not one option, but 3 or 4 actually. In this case, this particular building is a single family home. So let's say option A, okay? We renovate the single-family home using a 203K loan, which James Chu, our mortgage expert, will be in the next segment. I'll explain to you how that works. And what's ironically enough is, remember all that work we talked about and that $50,000 or $60,000 they thought they would need? They can actually do it with a little less than $15,000 out of their pocket. They can actually buy the home, renovate it, get rid of the purple bathroom, the pink kitchen, and put in the kitchen and the bathroom and the deck that they want to do in that house to make it their home, to create their legacy story in that home. The other thing that they're going to do is they're going to end up with a great yard, and they're going to end up with some parking. So if they want to buy the house, let's say they're going to be in this house for, I don't know, $330,000, they have a great yard, parking, all that great stuff. Let's say option B. Let's say we don't need all that space because we're used to living in a 2-bedroom condo anyway. So we go in and we renovate this single-family home again. Same thing. Now what we're going to do is what they call subdivide. We're going to actually take that piece of property and we're going to move it away from this piece of property and we're going to separate it. Now what we're going to do is we're going to build a second one-family home over here. Well, Sean, why would we do that? Well, a couple of things. You ever had a mother-in-law that you really like, but you don't like her that much that you want her in the same house with you? Let's say you buy this house, and you build your mother-in-law a house over here, which is a single-family home. And actually, she can rent it back from you, or you can just, put her in the house, period. Or you could build a single-family home here and sell it. The last piece of the puzzle is, you may want to build this and just keep it as a rental income to cover some of the cost of your property that you purchased for in the beginning. Lastly, and not the only other way, is option C. Option C is pretty aggressive, and it's for probably a little more experienced people or people that are really looking to get into the real estate business as a business, more so than just buying a home as a primary residence. First thing we're going to do is we're going to go to this house. We're going to go to the city. Instead of it being a single-family home, what we're going to do is we're going to ask the city if we can convert this to a 2-family home, because there is a possibility of doing that. It takes a little bit of doing with the city. You have to get permission in certain ways. They're called variances. But they're not big variances. They're not difficult to do. You just have to show that it's not going to encumber the neighbors and stuff like that. The second thing we're going to do is, again, we're going to subdivide that land. We're going to separate the two, right? Except that this time, instead of building a one family, we're going to actually build a two family, which we can do as of right without a variance on that particular piece of land in this particular scenario, okay? The next thing that we can do is, once we build that house, we now have a renovated two family, a brand new two family. So now what are we going to do with that, Sean? Well, we can either sell them both, we can keep one and sell one, we can keep them both as an income, and, you know, at the end of the day, you can keep one, your mother-in-law can keep one, and her boyfriend can live downstairs, however you want to do it. The reality is this, though. Remember what I said in the beginning when Ronnie told me, he said, find out 2 ways to get out before you get in? In this case, we have more than 3 ways to get out. There's a tremendous amount of value hidden in this property, and it comes back to having the right eyes on the property when you're looking to purchase something like this. If you want to find out more about this property and you don't have time to watch these videos, just raise your hand and call me directly if this is interesting to you. We are looking for somebody to use for the next segment, which is going to be how to finance it, and then how to actually go through the process and actually buy the property. And we're looking for you as our person to do this with. If you want to find out more about this and more, or be our actual candidate, call me directly at 855-734-8788, extension 102. If you just want to find out about another property that seems like something like this, feel free to call me directly. I'm more than happy to answer your questions. The call is free. 855-734-8788, extension 102, and it's Sean Schaus. Put your information in on the website. Make sure you get on top of these videos to learn more about how to look for a property with your eyes and looking for value. Look forward to hearing from you. Have a great day. The eyes have it.